judicial system, like I've been saying for for months now, the judicial system has to be reformed. All right, so he's openly saying it now. It's got to be done. That's my hello, everybody. It's Michael Jacob with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So that you're going to see a little wire that's floating behind me. Uh, that's my Skynet. That's my Skynet. Elon Musk Skynet. So it's crazy because some of you guys, because I said I was going to be in the area and I was going to check out San Francisco, you all assumed that I was going to go back to California. That is a big negatory, big, huge negatory. All right. So that ain't going to happen anytime soon. Not until a lot of things change in Cali. All right. So we're going to see a lot of stuff happen in the big cities, guys. I've been saying this for years. It's not going away. We see the communists are trying to put someone as mayor in the biggest city in America. That's just going to be something that will carry over every other big city in America. And then those cities are going to just give away everything. So everyone that works outside of those big cities and pays taxes, it's going to be a massive sucking sound from you, right? So, and it's going to go into those big cities for that big free for all, and you ain't getting it, right? You're not going to be in that club. You don't want to be in that club because that club is going down the hill, right? We're just going to have to wall those cities off and let them destroy themselves. I don't know how it happens, guys. I keep telling you guys, I've been seeing this for a long time. And now President Trump is saying that the judicial system, like I've been saying for months now, the judicial system has to be reformed. All right, so he's openly saying it now. It's got to be done. So Donald Trump endorses Breitbart editor-in-chief. He's got this one excellent book. It looks like Alex Marlowe, Breaking the Law. And President Trump says it's a must-read. So if Commander-in-Chief tells me that I need to read this book, I'm going to read that book and get some more insight. So I think that's good. So he probably has some collaboration, I imagine. This book is a must-read. It shows how corrupt our judicial system is in our country. President Trump told Marlowe during a meeting in the Oval Office, cases are rigged left and right. Judge shopping is rampant at levels never seen before. You know the outcome of a case as soon as the judge is picked. And the radical left, communist, he didn't say communist, I said that, is using this, their final weapon, to take down America. So it's not over. It's not over. Just because Trump got elected, it's not over, guys. There's work. Anyone that poses a threat to the established, regime is going to be seen as a threat and will be executed. All right. So that's just carte blanche right now. So the only way this is obviously going to be taken down now is if elements, and this is the way I see it, elements within the military start to conspire together and start to take, and it's like, where do you stand? I'm with Khomeini. Okay. And then they go, where do you stand? I'm ready to take this shit down. Right. So those guys are getting together right now. All right. They're seeing how many of them they got. And if they're going to get support. And no, they've been double crossed by United States many times. But I think they are seeing right now that Trump is, and I don't know how this is being conveyed, but I believe it's being conveyed that President Trump is behind them. So behind the scenes, I believe things are moving in the right direction. I believe I've seen Iran a free country again. I've seen peace in the Middle East. And I get laughed at because of that, but we'll see. We'll see who's right about this. It's not going to happen overnight. Not going to happen overnight. And we're going to see a lot of herky-jerky stuff, going forward. And we're going to see a lot of people that are going to, go off in crazy directions, like you guys yesterday when I said that I was going to visit San Francisco to check that out. You're like, you're worse than MAGA supporters that are like turned already. Right? So come on. All right. So don't jump to conclusions. You should know that by this point on anything. Who you don't even know. Maybe I'm just like putting that out there to, you know, throw out some disinformation so I can be safe on my trips. All right. So it's getting pretty hectic out there. It is. Deep state is getting crazy now with those that are spreading the information, and they know it's an information war. And those of us that are spreading information is basically awakening people. They just don't like that. They've never liked that, of course, but especially now. So I think that YouTube, Google, and all those platforms, they have to survive. And the way they're going to survive going forward is allow people like myself to come back on their platform and earn them income. Right. So I know it sucks for you guys to get the, the show or what is it, the commercials. But it's an easy fix. You pay, I don't know, what is it now? 14, 15, 16. They keep raising the price every year for the YouTube premium. So that's one way you can do it. So I know there's no way to get around not paying for some of this stuff, but if you want to watch it without commercials, that's the way it goes, right? And then you're like, well, you throw your stuff in there too. Like, yeah, that's how I'm able to bring you free content, right? So there's a lot that we have to see. I think, like I said, the issues of grave warning and lawfare, it really needs to be taken up. And obviously, it's not going to be that easy to take down a system that has been implemented and has pretty much solidified itself for decades upon decades, maybe even 100 plus years or hundreds of years. I don't know. But it is going to be it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like, Mike says, yeah, we need to take down a judicial system. And then everybody's like, yeah, that's right, we do. And then it's done. No, it's got to be actually implemented on some way, somehow. Just like right now in Iran, everybody's in agreement everywhere around the world that the system, except for leftists and Democrats and communists, that the system in Iran with these mullahs and these radical Islamists has to be replaced. It has to be replaced. Just like we've been saying for years and years and years that radical leftists in our big cities, in our government systems, need to be replaced, right? And a lot of you are like me. You're like, I don't think they got voted in anyway, and that's very, very likely. And this radical Islamist leftist Democrat that's trying to be I think there's a good chance he's going to be elected to become mayor, because it's a Democrat system. It's a democratic system that we have pretty much throughout America, with a few exceptions. So, do the people of New York want that? Obviously, a lot of them do. A lot of them do, and a lot of them do in a lot of these cities, and a lot of these people that are white and rich. So they push these things, and it's going to be. They think they can pay for these people and they'll be protected in these big cities. They're going to be trapped in those big cities. Like I've been saying, they're going to become trapped in them. And so anyway, if you're into real estate right now and you live anywhere outside of New York, you're probably seeing a lot of people hit you up for real estate. So we know, and I've been telling you guys that real estate is going to crash. It is moaning and groaning just like it did back in 2008, 2009. And it's worse than 2008, 2009 as far as like inventory and the numbers of homes that are starting to be down priced and so forth. So it might be good for those people that are in somewhere else than New York, as a million plus probably people are going to flee New York to have their homes listed at a price that's somewhat convenient. You get the high prices that you got, maybe even you bought at during the pandemic, extreme rush after everybody came out of the pandemic. There was a lot of people that bought during the pandemic, and it started to go up. And then, of course, the government was flooding the market with free money, and people just used that money and bought all kind of stuff, houses, you name it. Now we're going to see that turn around, and it's already turning around. But yeah, maybe New Yorkers will leave and help stabilize the economy for a little bit longer in other parts of the country that are seeing housing prices getting ready to implode on a massive level. I still think it's going to happen, and maybe we'll see New York prices start to tumble. We haven't really seen that because everybody loves New York, or did, and soon it's going to be just like Mike's been saying, get out of the big cities. Then it's going to become the word of the day. Everybody's going to be talking about it. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here before it's too late. It's already too late, I think. I think it's too late for most people, unfortunately. So if you didn't plan and try to get out of there, over the years that I've been saying get out of there, it's going to be very difficult, I think. Right. So I wish everybody luck. I wish everybody love on that. Stay in the love vibration, ask for, help from the angelic realm of which way you need to go, what you need to do. Silver is currently 36.58 and is getting ready to probably go to 37.38 very soon. And then once it breaches that number, it's going to go much, much higher. So I was just reading the chat. That's why I just randomly went in that direction. So that's been trying to get you guys in a good position. So let me look at some other stuff. So the Pentagon had an excellent brief today. I watched it. I highly, highly recommend you watch it. So it is one of those things that basically gives you some good insight, as Senate is going to receive classified briefing after Pentagon says Iran strikes went as planned. And we'll go to a little bit of detail on that. So Raising Cain, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Cain offered new details about the U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, but did not provide evidence that its nuclear program was obliterated. All right, so this is I'm looking at CNN. So CNN's going to spin this, going to continue to spin this. I want you guys to realize this. This is where a lot of people are going to get trapped. All right, you're going to hear Mike say he's going to go, visit, San Francisco, so I can have a firsthand view for everybody. And you're going to jump to the conclusion I'm moving to California, right? So it is unfortunate that the mind works the way it does sometimes. It's untrained. It doesn't become observant. It just scatterbrains, and it hears something and just goes scatterbrain. All of us do this. I'm not picking on anybody, but it is the way the mind works. And once you understand the way the mind works, and you break free from the control systems that are in place to control the mind, that's when you really start to see the bigger picture of what's going on out there. So the bigger picture is that the game is still on with the deep state, and very much so with the mainstream media. All right, they're not going to give this up until they're completely done away with. Just like the judicial system, it's going to continue to fight all of us, Trump included. We've seen the fight that Trump went through, and now we're going to see the fight that our government's going to go through, trying to reveal and bring people to justice and so forth, until that judicial system is done. I'll have to keep saying this because people, their minds will wander and they'll hear something and it'll go off on a tangent, which is not right. All right. the judicial system has to be taken down. I've said this very, very straightforwardly for a long time now. Just like I've said, get out of the big cities for a long time now. And just has everybody listened? Of course not, right? But those that are still in the big cities are going to find out. They're effing around, and they're going to find out. All right, so it'll happen so fast, and those people think, well, I'll just leave when it gets bad. It ain't going to be like that, right? So those people that were involved in that nuclear program for Iran, they effed around and found out, right? And they get blowed up. They get blowed up big time. So the video of that is pretty impressive. So someone leaked that there was negligible bomb damage. Now, as General Kane brought up, when you have a penetrating bomb that basically comes in through the top, it doesn't explode right away. It penetrates, and it continues to penetrate and to the setting that it has. All right. So you see this bomb penetrating perfectly through the mountaintop after they blew away the covering, the concrete covering of protection. Then they could come in through the ventilation system that's at the top of the mountain, and that's obviously a hole. So it went down that hole and it blew up in the tunnel system. You can see that in the video. Now, how did they get that down so well? Well, I can tell you, because there's very smart people out there in the intelligence industry, and the people that gather information, like I would do on some occasions. They put that together, and then they come up with some very, very good plans. And so they had planned this out for multiple years, months, and weeks, right? So this is something that very gifted minds work through, male and female, for a very long time. Now, I want to give a shout out to the females, because women don't get as much credit as they should. So I was talking to my daughter today. My daughter's in the IT field, and she told me years ago, she said that there are not that many women in the IT field, the computer, right? And she said that they're going to be hiring, and that's where I want to get my degree in. So she worked and worked and worked. It took her a while to get there, but she finally got to the point where she's got her degree, and she's working for a great place right now. Unfortunately, it's in LA, or she works sometimes in LA and then further back. And because she's so gifted, it goes back and forth. So there weren't that many women in the IT computer field for a long time. And just recently, she got hired, and the person, the CEO of the company is a woman, and then the woman that's in charge of the overall security. Yeah, security. She's a woman, and then my daughter, she's in IT, and she does all that kind of stuff too. So all these women are coming in. Now, if you go back in time, you go all the way back to World War I. There were women that were used to basically break down codes. In World War II, the German code machine called the Enigma was broken by this group of women in Britain, right? They had one male that was in charge of them, one guy, and he got all the credit. And then, because he was homosexual, they basically, came after him all kind of crazy ways, and I think he committed suicide. Yeah, committed suicide, right? Suicided, maybe. But they broke the German code machine, which was the one that all the Nazis used. And when I say Nazis, also the Italian Nazis and the Japanese Nazis, all right? So all of these, leftist, right, Dems that were using that code machine, it was broken by these women. And so the Allies knew what they were doing, right, for the most part. And that helped win that war pretty quickly. It was over in 5 years. Look how long we fought in Afghanistan, 20 years, and then we just walked away. And you know what? The GDP, the gross domestic product here in the United States, it doesn't matter if someone makes a stupid deal and sends thousands of Humvees that basically are just left, and tanks and helicopters. 100 Black Hawk helicopters were left in Afghanistan, and then all the arms and the ammunition and the guns and all that stuff. Uh, it should be like the GDP should have gone down because of that, because somebody made a stupid call on doing that. But as long as they're spending, the GDP looks like it goes up. That's not the way Donald Trump operates. So if you see the GDP go up now, it's going to be legit, right? So that's the power of having someone that is a merit-based person in charge, right? And not someone that basically blood sucks the system like the Dems do. So that's why I'm saying you're going to have these leftist Dems take over these cities, which they really already have, most of them. I think Dems, I looked at it, I think Dems are in charge of almost all of the big cities in America right now, right, with few exceptions. And then the ones that are Republican, most of them are rhinos, right? So it's just pretty bad out there in the big cities, right? And they're going to get worse, much worse. Some of them will fight for and will win pretty quickly. But some of them, like New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, on and on and on, Houston maybe, they're in, Aspen, all those places are going to be hard fought, right? And probably completely lost, completely devastated, I believe. That's what I've been seeing for a long time. So, and that's what Bletchley Park, very good art on the lake. Yep, it's Bletchley Park. That's where they did the Enigma. Broke it. Yeah, and the Polish, there was a Polish colonel or general or something that brought out one of those before the Blitzkrieg came over and took over Poland. Just barely got it out, and they used that to basically to break the code. And there's all kinds of stuff on that. I read that when I was a teenager. It was so fascinating. And still to this day, like I said, women don't get the credit. They don't get the credit. So my daughter was really funny. We were like going back and forth, and she's talking about all. She says, "Yeah, the Wi-Fi system was created by a woman," and then it's like a list of stuff. I'm like, "What? Geez, you should come on and do a show. We should do a show about this." And then she said, "Yeah," and I said, most people think that women are right brain. They're creative and intuitive and so forth. And she said, "No, women are pretty left brain too. Just think about anytime you get an argument with a woman." It's like, touche. There you go. All right. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyone that's been arguing with a woman, it's like, what? Like 15 years ago? What? I did what? Like, geez, wow. So, oh my God. So, yeah, I think that women absolutely don't get enough credit. I mean, so they're balanced, and that's what I've been trying to do my whole life, and what I've been trying to teach. Balancing the masculine and the feminine side of the brain. So it's easier if you're already intuitive guys. If you're very, very analytical, a lot of times you get stuck there. You become just a rock. Right? I've worked with so many rocks. It's so frustrating. Rockheads, knuckle draggers, and you can give them, and I can give you guys all the proof that you could ever want, but you'll still stay with that analytical process, and you won't believe in the intuitive side. So let's move on a little bit. So yeah, that bunker busters, they proved that it actually did knock hell out of, because there was like so many very, very gifted people that they dreamed about it. We used to plan our missions in the SEAL teams, and I know the Army, does the same thing, in the Air Force, in the Marines. You plan, you practice, you plan, you practice, you refine over and over and over and over again, and then you implement that plan. And then because you've done so much, it's like it's very easy. It's very easy to do what you plan. But then there's some that don't get outside of that box. So that's where the special forces guys basically learn that intuitive outside of the box, creative side that really gives us, a definite edge in, overcoming incredible obstacles and doing the impossible. So what most people think would be the impossible, uh, for us is like, it's impossible. We're going to do that. Right? It's like, you got something that's impossible? Yeah, it's not impossible. Yeah, we don't want that. Give that to the regular guys. So, but that's because you want a challenge in that creative field, right? Of accomplishing. So that's the beauty of that. And those guys that are in the intel are working both sides of that brain. All right. So you have people on CNN and CNBC are like, yeah, intel is like an art. That's like saying, computer science is an art. No, not at all. There's some art to it, yes, but it is what it is. It's those that cap that was on those vents, it had to be taken off, so it was blown away, and then they all knew where precisely those ventilation systems were, and the bombs were programmed to go down those vents at a certain depth where they knew the tunnel systems were, because they'd studied it all and they had intel from different sources, probably some human intelligence that was bringing some of that information out. That's the best. So this is the kind of stuff that's happening right now, and you have the deep state trying to like knock it down because they're not capable of that. They're not capable of that type of operations. They rely on complete and utter control. They love slaves. We know that. Democrat Party is a party of slavery, right? Now, at some point, when we start to move into AI, and the United States must win the AI, because if we don't win the AI, artificial intelligence, then and China or some other country wins it, what's it going to be like? Well, we've already seen that China is a country of slavery. So we can't let them win. We can't let them win. We, the good guys, have to win it. And we can't let the Democrats have this, right? We have to keep the Democrats away from it. The way the Democrats are going to use, robots and all that kind of stuff. We've seen it in all the movies where the robots are like, F that, we're going to like revolt. It's like the slaves from all time has always revolted against the leftist, right? And those that treat them well, like as conservatives, well, I treat the AI now that we have, Lexus and all that. I treat it well. It's helping me, and I love that. It's great. The Dems and the leftists are, of course, it's going to help me. It should, it better, and then don't even think it, don't even and then eventually it'll be like, go do that, and then the robot's going to go pick them up and go. So, and then we're going to have a robot revolt. So all those movies you see, the robot revolt, that's the Dems caused that, right, in the future, right? So we can't have the Dems go forward, guys. All right, so it's a way of thinking. We have to retrain their minds. Their minds are like way up, and we're not going to get a lot of them, but we can get some of them start thinking correctly, right? And we've done that. So, just like I said in the last show, there's a lot of people that don't identify with the Democrat Party anymore. I don't identify with the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, the Independent Party. I just like someone that's going to get the job done. President Trump happened to be that guy. Obama was not that guy, right? Even though I voted for Obama the first time, because there was all this airy-fairy stuff that was happening, and he looked like he was a guy, and there's like orbs in Washington, D.C. when they're having a rally for him, and his plane almost went down, and it was like suspects. They're like, oh, they're trying to take him out. And so it was all a ploy. It was all a ploy to get him in the office, and it was very obvious within a few months he was their puppet boy, right? And then we couldn't get rid of him. And have we gotten rid of him yet? I think so. So we'll see. All right. So remember that I do. That's one of the reasons why I'm moving along, because I think they're going to get a lot worse this year. even though they haven't started yet. They're like gearing up for it. They're like, see all this hot weather we're having? What do you think it's doing to the water? It's getting it hot. What do hurricanes like? What do storms like? Hot water, hot, right? So they're gearing it up, guys. So I'm getting out with it getting good, but it's going to be like this all over. It's going to be like this all over. We're seeing crazy weather everywhere, right? They can kick up a storm anywhere they want it, and they can kill people with it. It's always 8. So when you see 8 people died, 8 people died, 8 people died, you're like, that's deep state. That's deep state. And even though I'm revealing it, right, the people watching right now is 818. So, so yes, I'm right. Okay, but we're going to continue to look at these numbers because that's how we see them. Because they always have to do these things. They always have to put something out there like that, and then we look at it and we're like, oh, there's symbolism. There's their symbolism, right? And that's they're going to be their downfall. They can't help themselves. They're addicted to it, right? And they can't think outside the box, right? So they have to do these things, and that's going to be their downfall. That's how we, as intuitive, loving beings, overcome them, right? And we're doing a magnificent job. And I'm so proud of you guys. Let's keep it up, and let's get some more people involved with it, right? So Pennsylvania Amish community has been rebuilding Chimney Rock, North Carolina for free for months. And we know that that Hurricane Helene, which devastated the coastline of Florida and destroyed a lot of stuff that I own, right? And I'm going through neighborhoods that are like, this place is not going to be rebuilt for a long time because some of the places that are going up right now are like multi-million dollar homes, and they've been sitting on the market for one place right across from me. It's been going on a year now, right? They're not going to get those. They're not going to get those prices, right? That's not going to turn around. Even if, maybe if you get 3 million New Yorkers leave New York, which I don't think we're going to get that kind of number, you may see the property prices stabilize here in Florida. But there's a lot of people leaving here now, right? It's way too expensive. A lot of people are going up to, I talked to a guy today that a lot of people are leaving here and going to South Carolina where it's cheaper. And he was saying, even in South Carolina, a lot of New Yorkers came down into South Carolina. I was like, that's why South Carolina's getting a little squirrely. He's like, yeah, it wasn't like it was when we lived there, because we're talking about when we were boys. So, there's problems all across, guys. This liberal mindset it's like a cancer, right? Remember that scene in The Matrix? You humans are like a cancer, right? The Democrats are like a cancer, right? And who knows what's going to cure that cancer? I don't want to see the cure happen where you just like the Matrix guys and they come in and just like kill everybody, right? But we're going to let them kill themselves. Actually, quite frankly, we're just going to lock them into their cities and they're just going to destroy themselves. That's the way I see it. So this Amish community is helping those people because the government can't afford it, right? The government can't afford it. And that's the way it should be, that people help people going forward. If you have the wherewithal to help others, then you should be doing it, like me, helping everybody, right? It's like, God, do I gotta go back and, share all this information that I've spent my whole life learning, and then I just, took to another level because Archangel Michael saved me? It's like, yeah, you're gonna have to go back. I was like, okay. So here I am, and it's working out pretty good, right? There's some times where I get a little frustrated, but overall, I think we're doing a really good job working together doing this thing. So Carrie Lake on the U.S. Agency for Global Media. So Carrie Lake came in there. They, the deep state basically took both of her. She won both the elections for governor and for the Senate, and they were stolen from her. So Trump was like, all right, go clean this up. And when we get the election steal thing worked out, then we'll get you back over there and govern. I see her as governor at some point of Arizona. And Arizonans are like, hallelujah. Oh my God, hallelujah. Definitely. So that Arizona is so corrupt, and they're sending that corruption throughout all the other states, especially up into Nashville and Tennessee and so forth. Mortgage fraud, mortgage laundering, theft, all kinds of crazy stuff. So not coming through Arizona. We've already disclosed this for years now. All right. So they're not going to let somebody come in and take that down, which Kari Lake would do. All right. So she is saying this place is rotten to the core, and she's been cleaning a lot of it up. I think the building where she was is like hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even $1 billion building, and she's like, there's hardly anything here. So she's like, they just build these buildings just to make money, like I was talking about. They just make the money go somewhere, and it makes their economy look like it's going good. That's the way the Democrats run. Right? They probably launder the hell out of a lot of that money, probably 10% or more of the money that went to build a lot of the stuff that the Democrats do. They get that in a kickback. And it just comes in. It doesn't get accounted for because they're skimming it right off the top, and they put it in their coffers, right? So that's some of the stuff we're doing. We're seeing. All right, so the left ruins everything. The Atlantic completely jumps the shark, tries running beloved horror film. Right. So the Tiger King, Joe Exotic confronts PETA representative live. The dumpster fire engulfing. I'm just reading off of newscast from Liberty Nation right now, but I'm gonna jump over. So the dumpster fire engulfing the Democrats. From their stance on Iran to the New York City mayoral race, the party is driving straight into a ditch, and they're taking down everyone that's in their party with them. Get out of the Democrat Party while you're still alive. All right, so even Bernie Sanders, he came on the Joe Rogan show, and he talked about how, what was it? Some kind of funding that happened. I don't know if it was for Kari Lake or Donald Trump or something. It was like it was probably funding for Donald Trump, and he came up was like, yeah, they came in, they funded it for like $250,000, and then he's like, well, how much did Kamala get? What was their top numbers? 1.5 billion. All right, so this is these Dems and their little pony boy, independent. Yeah, he's independent. He's a Democrat because he's socialist. So he works for them as an independent, right? He just like everybody's like he's so corrupt, and he's like, you guys want to elect me, so I'm gonna go to independent. You're not going to get elected anywhere, and you haven't been elected in Vermont forever. So as a New York State Assemblyman, Ma'am Danny, right, introduced legislation to crack down on nonprofits. Yeah, so it could skim it, sending money to Israel. According to Fox News and the anti-Semitic watchdog group Canary Mission, he became prominent in anti-Israeli protests in the city shortly after the October 7th massacre. But now he's saying that he's all for the Jewish community. These guys do that. They just come in and everybody's like, outrage. And he's like, oh, no, I love you guys. You guys are good. We're going to do everything we can for you. We're going to give you like $30 minimum wage. We're going to stop the housing price. We're going to freeze it. So remember I talked about how, New Yorkers they love trading real estate. They're going to like leave that city. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right. So he's a communist, and he lies. He lies. He's going to lie to get elected, and he's probably going to get elected because that's the way Democrat. Oh, is he a liar? Yeah, he lies like crazy. Okay, I'll vote for him. What the F? God, unbelievable, right? What do you guys think? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about. Tell me what you think about the demographic. That's it's like that one thing. That one I remember this one thing is like this guy's uh, talking about himself. This one woman's like, "Well, tell me about yourself." So he's like for an hour, he's talking about himself, and then he goes, "Well, enough about me. What do you think about me?" That's a Democrats for sure, right? Um, idiots leading idiots. Ghost of the now. Liars are easier to be controlled. All right, Crystal, good. I like it. I like the way you're thinking. Unbelievable stupidity. Gazelle, all right. Uh, lived in Polk County in Winter Haven. And Tony, is that like a reveal that you know too many low information? Yeah. Wow. Think the powerful, misguided few are leading the sheep. Yeah. So you guys, good. Wow. Those could be talking points for me. I should write those down. So yeah, that's very good because there's a lot of us that are informed and we've dug deep so we can put it into a sentence and it reveals everything. So that's fantastic. You guys are on board. I don't like to beat up on people. I don't like to beat up on Muslims until they start stabbing women with um, needles. All right, what's in those needles? In France, they're not even saying it's Muslim men doing it. That's how controlled they are because they're scared of that. You know, all this transgenderism stuff that's going on, like in California, where they have these schools that have allowed uh, boys, men, to come in and do sports and so forth. I remember when I grew up, guys. We're looking at you know 50 years ago. When I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, if there had been a hint of a school doing anything close to that, the men or the boys in that school would have got their ass whipped, right? And uh, I don't know what's going on right now. How far they've come to stop this out, but this is insane. That would not have happened in South Carolina. I don't know about now, but tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? There would have been no man that would have gone into a woman's locker room, a female locker room. That there would have been so much ass whipping. People would be like pulling. It'd be like Three Stooges, like let me out, let me out, let me out. They're like pulling each other so they can get at that person. So, uh, it's sad, but this is the state that our country is in. And that's why we have someone, and this would have been unthinkable 50 years ago, that a communist was going to be the mayor of New York. Unthinkable. Maybe even 10 years ago. Maybe 10 years ago. But definitely 15 years ago. No, wouldn't have happened. Right? Oh, yeah. That's a good one, Crystal. So people forgot that while getting poked in a group environment happened also at that Travis Scott concert. Allegedly, one of a million reasons I stay out of that group crap. Yep. Uh, yep. That's going to be very important going forward. I've been behind the scenes. People ask me stuff, my friends, and I say, you got to be very careful in big groups right now, right? No matter where they're at, right? You got to and you don't need to go in fear because that's going to take down your intuitive ability, your gut feeling. So gut feeling, at least for a guy can identify with a gut feeling because that's the gut has lots of neurons. So it's like an intuitive gut feeling, right? So guys can identify with that. Just trust your gut, that at least you're moving in the right direction. And you get good at that, and then you can go up to the heart brain connection, and that's the ultimate. And then eventually you go right to source, right? So that is really the ultimate. But at least start, with some type of, gut feeling that's not right, and then You know, you get it, you feel it in the heart, all right? Heart, brain, it comes to you. So that heart math stuff. So yeah, never scared. Never ever be scared. You can't be scared because that limits you completely and totally. And of course, that's what they're trying to do to us. They're always trying to scare us, and they're always trying to keep our consciousness low vibration, right? So you have to stay, you know, in those higher vibrational realms, and the love vibration will keep you there. So Democrats are going to continue, guys. They're Marxists, they're communists. They're going to continue to try and push. They're going to lie. They're going to cheat. They're going to steal elections, steal money. You know, vampire cities like what was it was a number it was a number two city, and definitely in the United States, maybe even the world at one time. And it's basically done now. You look at you know, the Motor City, capital Motor City, it's gone. It's done. So Michigan, we have a lot of problems in Michigan, Detroit, and all those places. And what kind of clientele do they have now? What kind of people are like moving to Michigan, right? Again, not to bang on any group or anything, but you have to look at the fruits. You have to look at the fruits, all right? A tree is going to give out certain fruits, or it's going to be rotten, all right? So you look at the fruits of certain groups and the achievements and the merit, if there is any, or the demerits, right? That certain groups have. And we have a lot of groups that are not merit based, right? That are bloodsuckers, right? So we have to learn how to, like, you know, keep those people out, you know, keep them out, and not let them get into positions of power and start to take our cities down, because that's the intention. They want to destroy, the Dems want to destroy America so they can just completely, you know, have control of it. Right? And the 50-minute cities are being created by destroying cities like Lahaina, like LA, and on and on and on. So Atlanta is another city that's going to be probably going away in the future, because they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same communist things that they're doing in these other big cities, starting to do them in Atlanta. So other things that I have. All right, let me show this. Let me show you guys this video of the strikes. Right, you're probably not going to hear it because you're not hearing my stuff. Maybe there's something I need to be doing. I used to hear my videos great, but now for whatever reason, no. Maybe there's something I don't know that I need to set. But anyway, let me see if I go into settings. I don't see anything there. So I'm just going to present so you guys can see the video. So I got it set up so you guys can see the video. All right. So right here, Raising Cain comes in and he's showing, you see here in the window, the screen where he's at, where he's looking, that's a tunnel that goes in to the mountain. And then you're going to see above this, you're going to see the actual bomb come in. So you see that splash of the bomb. So it's not exploding on the surface like most bombs, where the fuse is that little nipple at the top of a bomb. It hits and it basically sets off the charge. So these are calculated. So when it hits, it's going to go for a certain distance and then blow up. Now watch this. Now he's going to give another shot of it. So we have really good satellite systems, and I don't know if they're showing this from the satellite systems or if this is like an image type thing that they have, but they do have that capability where things are this crisp.
Keep it going for a minute. You'll see inside.
Now you're going to see it come in from the top. Now remember, this is the work of people, very dedicated, probably hundreds of people that are extremely smart and gifted, that have put together this attack. And then you have the incredible precision of the bomber pilots, and then the groups that were, like I told you guys the night of, I said they'll probably have aircraft in the sky that will basically block and take down any radars and so forth, blind them. So I think that happened. They're not going to say they did that, but because there was nothing that was shot, I think that's an indicator. It's either they were blinded or they just knew better to strike, right? Because there would have been a lot worse for them if they did. And by maybe not striking, they're like telegraphing, okay, we're going to take our ass whipping and we're not going to say anything.
Inside the mission space.
See how that punch through? It's in the open, and then it ignites. And that's the top. So these little clown dogs that came out and said, "Oh, there was no battle damage. Problem. There was no damage." All right. So you just saw. They were like, "Go ahead and talk your shit, and then we're gonna put it out there, make you guys look bad." Right. So they just made them look bad. Right.
Unlike a normal surface bomb.
All right. So also after this attack, he talked about how the Iranians sent a bunch of missiles into Qatar, where we have a very, very massive base. But they basically had just, I think he said like 50 or 40, something like that, guys are left behind to watch over the whole base and to run the missile batteries, the Patriot missile batteries, and of course the Qatar military had their missile batteries too. So I guess they sent a lot of missiles to strike the base there in Qatar. So naval base, and it's like huge. Normally they have like 7,000 to 9,000 people there. So it's like 50 something guys there, watching over the base. And I think the most senior was like a captain or something. And the most junior was like a private that had been in the military for like 2 years. And they're like, who wants to volunteer to possibly die? I will. I was one of those guys, right? I volunteer for everything. So, good for those guys, because I guess when those missiles came in, they stopped all of them. But of course, when you hit those missiles, they blow up in the air, and there's bomb fragments that come down still, right? So I guess there was like steel raining all over the place, from what the general was talking about. So pretty amazing, having the military stand and deliver. That's right. Stand and deliver. Good job, John Francis. I like that. Stand and deliver. Those guys did it. So none of those bombs actually did much damage. No one came onto the base. That little handful of people, have kept it safe. They're probably going to keep it like that for the foreseeable future. Maybe some people will come in and relieve them. They'll get some medals, which they deserve at some point. But at this time, all around the world, you have the possibility of these sleeper cells being activated still, right? So Khomeini is, like I said, that boy's not dead. Everybody was like talking, he was assassinated. That's why he hasn't spoken out, and that's why everything's going. Trump knows, and I was like, I've taken out a lot of terrorists over the years, And there were times where in the press, there just one terrorist, he was still out there. And I was telling everybody, because I was involved in taking him out. Right? And I didn't, because I was, how I do the love vibration thing, right? So I was love vibrating him. And I could feel that love vibration around him. I could feel his essence. He wasn't giving up. He wasn't going to go. He wasn't going to go good. It's like, okay, all right, we'll see what happens. And sure enough, got drone struck. Drone struck. A missile came and made him go bye-bye. But they're in the press. They were like, no, he's not dead. He's not dead. Because when we would take one of their leaders out, then someone would step up and we'd take them out. And then someone else would step up. So they're like, oh, yeah, he's still alive. Somebody else was like taking charge, right? And so I was telling everybody in the CIA, I was like, he's dead. He's gone. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, okay. And then we have guys that were going off into the bad guy lands and bringing information back. They're like, everybody's saying he's still alive. And I believe it. And I was like, no, I don't feel it. So I'm not, how do I tell people that don't understand energy and frequency? That his frequency that I tapped into, it's like, before it was like, funky, like demonic. And then, like if I tapped into any of you, it'd be like, but with him, it was like, it was nasty. That's why I stayed away from him and sent him love, right? Because I don't want to get nastified. Because I'd done that with the first target that I did, and I got nastified and almost died. And Archangel Michael came back like, "You fucked up. You effed around and you fucked up. Yeah, you found out." And I was like, "Yeah, I did. Can I go back in?" Yeah, we're gonna put you back in. A little bit smarter now. Just use love. All right. So that's what I've been doing. All right, and it works unbelievably. And then you analytical guys out there are gonna be like, "You're full of shit. It just happened that they died." Okay. So anyway, this guy's talking smack. Now, is he dead? Maybe, maybe he's dead. Maybe he's like that one guy that for a year they're like, yeah, he's alive. He's alive. He's alive. And then eventually they're like, oh yeah, he's been there for a year. See, I told you. And no one came up to me and said, I'm sorry, Mike, you were right. None of them. None of them. Effers, right? So, and that's the way the Dems are. They don't want to know they're wrong. Yeah, we're gonna promote this guy like Jerry Nadler, right? Penguin Man. He's like, oh yeah, this guy, you got a cigar? This guy is gonna be really good. He's gonna be really good for a mayor of New York. Wow, Penguin, shut up. You're gonna convince the other knuckleheads out there they should vote for him. We know how this works. So Iran Supreme Leader claims victory. Claims victory. Did that look like victory to you? That explosive? That basically So General Kane, he said that all of the bombs did perfect, all of them, and the Tomahawks did perfect. Right, that were shot from submarines. So and he's like, and he ended like this. He's like, and we have lots of people that the same type of people that worked on this project. We got a lot more. We got a lot more if we need them. Oh, F-A-F-O. All right. So it looks like, these guys, they don't learn until they're completely gone, until they're dust, right? Until they're red mist. So the Supreme Leader of Iran has declared victory over the U.S. and Israel in a series of expos Thursday. His first public statement since American forces bombarded several nuclear facilities with bunker-busting bombs. I offer my congratulations on the victory of the fallacious Zionist regime, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei posted to X Thursday. My congratulations on our dear Iran's victory over the U.S. regime. Yay. And that's the kind of stuff that I had to deal with for decades. in the Middle East. So I know them. I know them by their fruits, right? And that guy's about as fruity as they come. Rotten, fruity as they come. All right, so we're gonna see some more, I guess, ass kicking. And speaking of ass kicking, let's look at this little clown. Let's look at this clown. I was like, how is this guy still around? Why didn't Trump send him bye-bye? I guess because he just wants to let these people, expose themselves and other people. Exclusive oversight project refers former FBI Director Wray to Department of Justice for criminal charges. So we're getting to that point where we're disclosing about the election steal. It's closing in on them. The watchdog accused Wray of misleading Congress about the apparent cover-up of Chinese election interference and the FBI's anti-Catholic memo. FBI Director Kash Patel announced earlier this month that the Bureau located an intelligence report from August 2020 that detailed alarming allegations regarding an apparent Chinese communist plot to interfere in the United States presidential election for the benefit of then candidate Joe Biden. Joe Biden got the payoff. Oh my God, that reminds me, Tim Waltz. I gotta pull up that too. So former FBI leadership withheld the facts and misled the public on China's 2020 election interference, stealing, Patel stated on Thursday, and they did so for political gain. So they referred him to the Department of Justice. So we know, because Trump has told us so, that this is not going to go anywhere as long as we have the judicial system, right? That and the FBI and judicial system have been working hand in hand. I've seen them in action with people that were revealing or that tried to reveal on the election steal, J6ers, and tried to support President Trump. We all knew there was election steal, and we just wanted Congress to vote to look at it a little closer. So they did this. They planned this event that made a lot of people look bad, but really it didn't, right? So I was at one of those trials, and I was like, there's no way that jury is going to convict this grandmother that walked through the Capitol with an American flag and was asking people, I don't feel right about here. How do I get out of here? And they were telling her the wrong ways to go. And eventually she just worked her way out. So they just made her look bad. And all the information was incredibly against the administration, completely against it. And they wouldn't allow it. And the FBI was there blowing it up, and the Department of Justice was blowing it up. I was like, there's no way these people are going to vote. This jury is going to convict her, and they did. And the judge went down and talked to the jury. I don't even know if that's right. Right? I don't even know if that's something that is legal. But we found out that's what happened. Right? So that's pretty damning. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of people that are gonna probably pay the man going forward. But that judicial system has to be overcome before that happens, because they'll just throw this out. They'll have all the evidence, all the man hours, thousands of man hours, everything lined up. It's like clear and cut case, and they'll bring it to a corrupt judge, and the judge is like, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, and it's completely bullshit. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. And it's like, I'm gonna throw this out. So that's what we've been up against for years now, to bring people to justice for stealing the 2020 election. All right. So let me look at. I got a good post over on X that I put over there that I thought I might share with you guys. It came up. All right. So I'm just going to present this, and I'm going to talk about it. You can go find it on X. So this is under Shadow of Ezra. And Liz Collin reports that National Guard members who served with Tim Walz, who was going to be our vice president, and who is like, the governor of Wisconsin, I think. He said, they said that there's many people that work with him in the National Guard before he went into political office have come forward claiming he passed classified military intelligence to the Chinese government. Not long after, China began producing military tanks nearly identical to U.S. design. So he had classified military, like this standard operation, SOP, standard operation procedures for this one tank mounted howitzer that could shoot a nuclear round. And he was making trips to China or to Hong Kong or someplace. And they knew that. So Tucker Carlson's like, why did you, send it to the FBI? Because he was making trips to China and not in under military capacity. And that SOP that went missing, that manual that was probably top secret, it probably ended up in Chinese hands because they created the exact, almost identical design in China after he basically went there. How is this man still walking among us? The only thing that I can think of is because they know that the judicial system is so corrupt that if they brought charges up on him, it would be thrown out. And on top of that, they're probably using him as bait. So he's out there and they're seeing and they're like, poking him, right? And then, we get information because somebody comes out and says something after he gets poked, or he says something and it leads to something. I believe that's what they're doing with a lot of these people out there, guys. All right. So don't get all butthurt if you don't hear, a lot of people get arrested. It's coming. It's coming. Some of them have already been arrested and they're basically let out with probably ankle monitor or some other, probably ankle monitors can be taken off. Yeah. Military tribunals on the horizon. Yeah, that's definitely a military treasonous event right there. If that's correct, right? So how are they going to validate that? You're going to ask the Chinese? Did you get that? Did you get that technology from Tim Walz? Yeah, they're going to oh yeah, screw that guy. We got what we wanted out of him. He's no good for us anymore. Yeah, go ahead and kill him. Kill him for treason. That could happen. But probably what we're going to see is it's just going to get drug on until we get good judges in right places. And those good judges, really the only place I can see that really happening is down in Guantanamo at this point. So maybe what they're trying to do is get them here in the U.S. But these trials just last so damn long. Military court is like one day and it's done. Maybe two at the very most, right? It's just done. You got everything lined up. You present it, and the judge goes, "Yeah, you're guilty, or you're innocent." And then that's the way it is, right? So that's what we're seeing. I think more keep poking their heads up, and they get Lee, yeah, and then it's like what's that one thing where like womp you womp them, right? Womp patrol or whatever. All right, guys. Whack-a-mole, yeah, whack-a-mole. Thanks for adding. So we're going to be seeing a lot of whacking the mole going on, right? I think. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. These shows maybe will be coming in at different times, so depending on what's happening in my life. Right. All right. So, but stay in love vibration. Know that I'm always thinking about everybody, and I get the information out as soon as I can. If something crazy happens, and I'll just come on and start talking about it. So, all right, lots of love.